Hello everyone, and welcome back to part 14 of the How to Draw a Horse in Coloured Pencils tutorial here on YouTube. I hope you're all doing really well and you're excited to get stuck into this next part of the horse. Might even be the final part. Let's see how far we get. If you're watching this video now and you've seen the thumbnail, you know how far we get. But yeah, everything that you need to know is listed in the description box down below. And if you're just joining me now and want to go back to part 1, I'll also link that down below for you too, so you can get started at the beginning. But without further ado, let's just get stuck in. Okie dokie. Right, first things first, I think I might use the burnt umber 280 instead of the dark sepia to start adding just some little lines and guidelines as to where all of these different areas are. A lot lighter and more brown around here, so let's go on the outside. Get rid of that line, and I'm just going to use that to go around the outside so I can see where that is. Then I want to do the same thing where there's like little shiny bits and go around both sides of that. And then same thing again with this bit, just so that we don't lose where everything is. It's like two little bits, so there's the bit that goes up there, then I'm just gonna draw between them like that. Then just gonna mark in where these bits are. It's not quite as obvious, the shapes and stuff here, but I'll just do a little bit, like a darker bit there. Then there's a bit here. And then I'll also just do the top of the body there. Does that look like it joins up? Yes, I think it does. And I'm also going to just get rid of these whiskers. I know we'll have to add them all back in later, but we don't want those pencil lines. So just dabbing those away. And then we're going to use the Warm Grey 271 for the base colour, and I'm just going to take it all over the body. Definitely got that warm grey undertone still around here, even though there's quite a bit of brown. Because if you look in these really light bits, it does have that slightly warm grey look, and I always judge the base colour by what the lightest bit is I can see on that area. And this is going to be really helpful for when we do add these whiskers back in with the eraser or whatever it is. I think that's probably what I'll do, like we did on the face and the nose. When we add those whiskers back in, it'll be so much easier to erase because we've got this light base coat underneath. I'm not wasting any time, I'm just bringing this over this whole section. Oops. Okay. Okie dokie. And then let's add some burnt ochre 187. And I'm adding that anywhere that looks a bit orange, so definitely around here. Gonna just sort of blend around that highlight. A little bit up here. Blending it round. Blending it round here. I might just go over that highlight there a little bit. And blend that out a little bit there. And then I'm going to bring it to about here and blend it out a bit as we get towards the more purple and grey area. Just blending it out there. There we go, that'll do. And then let's use some burnt umber 280 and let's start to add some of this in. I don't think it's going to be like a really detailed area. I think it'll be more of like a painterly area where we just colour it on. You can't really see the fur direction or anything like that. So I'm just going to start to shade it in a bit. Just making sure I'm nice and tidy where that edge is. Okay. I'm going to blend it into the highlight a little bit. Blending it up here. Then bringing it down here. Blend that in a bit. Oh, hello. Bringing it up here. So I'm more worried about sort of filling larger areas with the pencil rather than getting all obsessive over any details or anything, because it is a little bit out of focus as well, this body, so I can't see all that much detail. I mean, once we start to add some of the top layers, maybe we can be a bit more careful with our placement, but for now I'm more concerned about getting the colours down. Over that bit, and I'm just gonna add a bit more of a line under the bottom of that mouth, just so we can see where that is, and then colour under it. And like I said, we're going to be erasing the whiskers, so we'll add those back in afterwards. Okay, and I'm going to blend that out a bit there, so it gets more into that sort of grey purple territory. Then I'll just add some in here. under there, and around here. Blending it out as I come towards the right. And then I'll just do a little bit here. And a little bit here. Okay, then let's use some Walnut Brown 177 and start to add a bit more of that purple brown tone in there. So I'm going to go around the edge. And then let's bring that all the way to the mouth. And then I'm going to start to blend that in a little bit. And I'm going to start being a little bit more careful now, because you can see a tiny bit more, not detail, but you know, you can see a bit more of where the placement is of this colour. Like it's not everywhere like the burnt umber was, so I'm going to be a bit more careful. Still like just shading it in up and down, but just doing slightly smaller movements. Making sure I'm blending it in nicely. I apologise if you can hear the banging. The farmers have been shooting this week, so it's been very noisy here. Just sort of blending this around this little highlighted area. Yeah, I keep like jumping because it's really loud. That's starting to look nice though. It's like a little bit here, sort of like follows up from this highlight. It's a little bit of a lighter bit at the top as well. So I'm just going to go around that a little bit. I went to see Wicked last night and it was incredible. I loved that film. I think that's one of the best films I've seen in a long time. It was just every like little bit of it was just like visually amazing, and I love the soundtrack. I am such a musical person. I love going to see musicals at the theatre. We're going to see the Les Miserables anniversary show in a few weeks in Manchester, so I can't wait for that. And then we're going to see Wicked, the stage production, in January. So yeah, I'd never seen Wicked before in the theatre, so that was my first time like seeing the storyline and stuff, but I just loved the film. I thought it was so good. It didn't feel like it was 2.5 hours longer, however long it was. And Defying Gravity is always my karaoke song when I've had a few drinks, so yeah, I don't do it very well, but I try. Right, blending this down here a little bit. And I'm gonna go around the bottom of the mouth a bit again and just try and get in there. I'm trying so hard as well not to smudge anything, so sort of not putting my hand down. I don't think I'll use the Canson Moulin for something this dark again, because it's almost like it just doesn't retain the colour, it doesn't stay. It lifts out very easily, so I need to be careful, but it works so beautifully for areas like this where it's lighter. So yeah, I wish it just worked for everything, but yeah, it just requires a bit more effort on the darker bits and you end up having to go back over stuff at the end, but hopefully if you've used it for this, you've found it all right. We live and learn together, don't we? Right, let's just bring this over here. And then start to just lightly shade this around here. It's a bit lighter, we'll probably use the white again to add a little bit of a grey tone by lifting it a little bit. So yeah, I'm just being a little bit lighter where it's looking a bit more grey. I'm gonna go in here. And blend around the lighter bit a tad. Bring that down here. Blend that round there a bit. It's not that purple round here, we'll just add a little bit. So I'm going to try and blend this all in a little bit better. I can see some lines of pencil and stuff, which is not what I want. A bit better. Okay, we could always add some more of that in later. Let's now just add a little bit more burnt ochre 187, and I'm just going to apply a bit more pressure and just try and get a bit more pigment down. Trying to film a reel at the same time, so probably multitasking. That's looking nice. It really does help to use like the side of your pencil and hold it really far down. Just makes it a bit quicker, a bit easier. Cover a larger surface area. Might even just blend a little bit over the highlight. I feel like it could be a bit warmer. Still has that warm grey undertone to it, but it's just a little bit, I think, of the burnt ochre. That's nice. It's looking nice. The tones are all right. Just gonna keep blending over a little bit. Definitely just blend it a bit more around here. Okay. Then let's add a bit of burnt sienna 283. I can definitely see some red in there. Have a look around here, I reckon. Again, I'm sort of just going to really slapdash, well not slapdash, but do some quite big strokes and just blend it in. So definitely a bit down here. And definitely some over this bit. Making sure to blend it in nicely. Bringing it down here. Okie dokie, and then I think we need a bit of dark sepia 175, and I'm gonna go around the left hand edge a little bit more. And then like we did with the Walnut Brown, I'm just going to be a bit more careful and just do like smallish little movements with the pencil in places, and then I can be a little bit more controlled with where I put it. So I don't want to put it everywhere, I just want it to be like little patches of it almost. Just going to hold my pencil a little bit closer just to get a bit more control. I apologise for my chair keep on creaking. I try and edit it out as much as I can, but sometimes it doesn't creak at the best moments. Some little bits around here. Okay, and then I'm going to start on the bit underneath the mouth. Go around that a little bit. Blend down here a little bit. Sort of just going down here, blend down there a little. And going round here. Blend it out as you get up here. It's going to be a bit lighter in this area. And I'll do a little bit around here. I'm going to be adding some white around there afterwards, but for now I will just add a little bit of this. A little bit round here. Just going to darken up a little bit of a patch there. Just add a bit more burnt umber 280. I feel like I need to blend this middle bit is looking a bit meh, like it needs a bit of something else. That's looking a bit better. Definitely need to blend it in a bit more. Okay, let's start with the white now. And of course, I'm using the Derwent Drawing Chinese White 7200. And I'm going to start to blend it into the more grey areas. I'm going to be very light with it. I don't want it to go too like dull and weird in places. I'm just adding little bits in. Bit more at the bottom. Okay, and a bit more around here. I need to, it's gone a bit funny there. I need to sort that out, but just add a little bit more. Okay, I'm just gonna add some burnt umber 280 just to like go over that bit. It's gone a bit too cool. That's the thing that can happen when you use white on top of colours. It goes a bit cool toned sometimes, which is why I tend not to use it too much, but I'm just gonna add the brown tone back on top, and then hopefully that will cancel it out a little bit. I think we do need a bit more anyway. Just doing little strokes now just to try and blend it in a bit more. And blend it in a bit more around here. Okay, and let's add a bit more Walnut Brown 177. I think that's what we need in this middle bit. Add a bit more down here. It's looking better. And I'm going to add a bit more down here. And maybe just a little bit more burnt sienna 283, just for a bit more of a red tone. Bit more around here for definite. Okay, I think that is looking better. We needed a bit of red. Okay, let's now do the fun bit. Okay, I just did a little practice on how I thought I was going to do the whiskers, which was going to be using the Tombow eraser to rub it out and then sort of draw them in, draw around them like we did with the nose. But I think because there's so many, it's hard to get them thin enough. So I'm going to use the white pencil instead just to add the whiskers on top. They might not be as bold and as, like, you know, light as I'd like them to be, but I just think because there's so many, I think it might be the easiest way to do it. So I've made sure it's really sharp using my Derwent drawing Chinese White 7200, and I'm going to start to just map in some little whiskers. I think that is definitely the way to do it. As you can see, they don't go super white, but at least they're a bit on the thinner side. So I'm just crossing them over each other. And I'm doing some along this bit. We'll connect them up afterwards. But yeah, I'm just doing some little hairs. We'll add some bits so that they're all like connected to the mouth. Yeah, I think that's definitely the best way of doing it here. Means that we can add a lot more. Feel free to press a bit harder on some of them, make them a bit lighter. Then, like I say, we're going to connect them up, so let's just dab these outlines away a tiny bit. And we're going to use the Warm Grey 271 and just join up little whiskers. Do some up here. And I'll even do some over at this side. Just going to thicken some of them up a little bit. And then if you need to, you can sort of go back in with like the dark sepia 175 or something. Just sort of go in between some of these whiskers just to add a tiny bit more definition. It's totally optional though, you don't have to. In some places it could just do with a little bit more. Just to make them stand out a tiny bit more. So bring some of the bits onto the mouth a bit more. Maybe even a bit of burnt umber 280 on that mouth. Just going around some of those little hairs, make them stand out. Okay, I'm just going to zoom you out now and we're going to have a look at it as like a full piece and decide if there's anything else that we need to add. Okay, I might just add a bit of black 199. Just add a tiny bit of that to the outside edge there. Blend it in a little bit. I think you could honestly just go forever and ever adding more and more depth into something like this, especially with this paper because it doesn't seem to retain the depth that well. Blend that in a bit. Add a little bit down here, I reckon. Maybe even a little bit between some of these whiskers. Might add a little bit more into the neck. So yeah, it's totally subjective how much you want to keep adding. Yours will probably be slightly different to mine anyway, so you'll have different areas that you'd like to focus on. I won't go too far with this because honestly I could spend another hour just perfecting everything, but yeah, I'll just give you some like little pointers on things that you could do. I'll probably do mine like off camera one day, just spend a bit of time refining it, but the main thing is all of the main bits are done now. It's just a case of perfecting it. So I'll just do a little bit more on the neck. Might just darken up that bit around here with some burnt umber 280. It's looking a bit too light. Maybe add a bit more into the neck. I feel like the main area that I need to focus on mine is definitely the neck area. I could probably spend a bit of time just darkening it all back up again. I don't think the face needs too much attention because we've not really been leaning on that much. Just these bits where maybe the colour's smudged a bit or lifted. Could honestly just go on and on forever. Might add a little bit more here. Maybe a little bit more Payne Grey 181. So yeah, use your own judgment. You might be able to just pick little things out that you could spend a bit more time on. But I think I'm nearly going to call this done now. I've been filming for quite a while and I'm ready for a bit of lunch, so just go a little bit further with this. But yeah, I'm gonna just call that finished. Might end up doing a little bit of refining on it depending on what I decide to do with it. But overall, I am very pleased with the way this horse is looking. I'll pop a picture of the full thing in at the end of this video because I cannot zoom out enough to show you the full thing with this camera. But I really, really hope you've enjoyed drawing this horse with me. I know we've spent a lot of time together on this, if you've made it to the end, or even if you've just watched the videos just to pick out little bits of information. Yeah, it's a long time, a long time to spend together. So feel free to drop me a message or an email with a picture of your finished horse. I also have a Facebook group for my YouTube community where you can post pictures. There's only a few people in it so far because I've only recently made it, but I'll try and link that down below. Hopefully the link will work this time. But if not, just search Shannon Moulin YouTube community. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed it. I'd love it if you could give this video a like if you did, because it really does help my channel out. Subscribe to see more tutorials like this in the future, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and you're really pleased with the drawing that you've created. So bye for now.